Multiplying integers. So this video is about multiplying. Well, I guess we can even talk about dividing, because multiplying and dividing integers, they follow the same rules. So this is multiplying integers. From our last video with the brackets, this is really essentially the same thing, except we'll just use a bigger number. So recall from before with the brackets, we have a negative bracket plus 4. At this point, you should know that these two will make it into a negative 4 because it's a sign, bracket, sign, not like two different numbers. So remember, you see this one is a little bit different because this is a negative 6 and a positive 5. They don't have a bracket. So this one, you're actually combining this. This is a negative 6 adding a 5, which gives you an answer of 1. Two different things. So in multiplying integers, if you have something like negative 3, positive 8, notice brackets. You don't have to have brackets. Sometimes you can even have negative 3 times negative 6, like that. Means exactly the same thing. So, aside from the numbers. So in this case, the negative and the positive, because there are brackets and they're multiplying, negative and positive gives you a negative. 3 times 8 is 24. So the answer is like that. Okay? For this one, because they're multiplying again, this negative and the negative will make it a positive. 3 times 6 is 18. So your answer is positive 18. Simple as that. If we want it to be really tricky, we can have many signs. What about something like this? A bracket minus 1, another bracket. So if you have two brackets beside each other, they also represent multiply. So since there are no signs, this means multiply. And we can even make more. Positive 1, more brackets, negative 1. When you look at something like this, it looks kind of complicated because there are a lot of brackets, lots of signs. Break it down into steps. So let's say step 1, do the first two. What's negative 1 times positive 3? Since they're multiplying, negative, positive, makes a negative. 1 times 3 is 3. And since I didn't do anything to these two, I'm just going to take these two and just drag it down. So copy and paste it back into the next step. I have more numbers. I'm going to do another step. Negative 3 times positive 1. That's what I'm going to focus on right now. So since this is negative, positive, with a bracket indicating a multiplication, negative. 3 times 1 is 3. I didn't do anything here, so I'm going to bring it to the next step. Negative 1 equals. So you notice how I started with 4 numbers, 4 signs, into 3 numbers, 3 signs, into 2 numbers, 2 signs, and finally, these two will give me an answer. Negative 3 times a negative 1 is positive. 3 times 1 is 3, and that's your final answer. So when you get a big question like this, it's always a good idea to break it down into steps. So I always like to do it from the top down. Don't just put random things all around. I guess that's just sort of rhymed. So top down, not random stuff all around. Okay? So that's how you do multiplications with integers and negative integers, I suppose.